Hey, what's up everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing the rear firewall. Well, this video is going to be on the rear firewall for the Sylvia. I've done a bit of extra cleaning and welding on the cage, so it looks pretty spiffy now. I got all the photos I needed. She's looking pretty good. But before I start on the rear firewall, because I'm going to bead roll it with the bead roller I showed you guys in the last video, I made this little thing up too. Just welded a bit of box section to it so I can put it this way in the vise, so I can work with it all out here instead of, you know, with the toolbox in the way and shit. So I think it might be a two-person job, so I might have to get a mate around. But at least we can stand out here and work with it and have one sitting up here doing the handle. So yeah, but for starters, because I haven't done it before, so to get a feel for how it works, I'm going to do the dash. I'm just going to do some bead rolls in the dash first, because the dash is pretty shitty and it doesn't really bother me if it doesn't turn out too good. So yeah, what I've done is I've just drawn out a bit of a design on the dash. So I'm just going to roll a bead around that square. I'll put a line just at one bead like that, and then like that. I've just marked it out with a straight edge, and I've used a socket to get the radiuses on the corners. So I've just gone like that, and I've just traced around it just to get a nice edge. So I'll see if I can do it by myself, but if not, I'll have to get someone around to give me a bit of a hand, and yeah, see how it goes. So I'm going to attempt just to do that one little line in the front there that I showed you just by myself, just to see how it comes out. But basically, this is the dies. This one's got it's sunken in half moon, and this one's got the protruding that sits into it. Basically, you put the steel in there, clamp it down, and then you just roll the handle and pull the steel through, and it should put a nice little dent in the steel, give it some strength. So I'll see if I can film it and do it at the same time. So this is the steel clamped in the bead roller. You just wind this handle down to jam that into it, and I'll just try to follow my nice line here and see how it turns out. Sort of angle it through. Might be a little bit of a bit difficult. So yeah, that's going to definitely be better with two people, because you got to keep the handle speed kind of the same throughout, so it's not so jumpy. But it didn't turn out too bad. Got a little bit of it's got the crease in it, so that's the underside. So if we take that out now, wind the handle up. I didn't go right to the end actually for some reason there, but we'll remedy that when I fully do it. But it's taken all the flex out of it, which is what it's meant to do. So I'll see if I can get someone to come around and give me a hand with the rest of it. And if it turns out okay, cut the firewall out and run a nice little bead around the edge of that too to give it some strength, and weld it in. Alright, so I've done a bit of a practice on the dash here with the roller. It didn't turn out the greatest. It was a bit of an arse, since it's already been folded to like get it into the corners and stuff. So it would have been better to do it out of a flat sheet, which is what I'll obviously do for the when I do the firewall. But since it was just kind of a practice, and I'll just put some paint or something over it to hide like this, so it doesn't look so shit anyway. But this is the back side, so that's the bead there, and then I just put a line there, a line there, a line there, because you can't get there obviously with the depth of this cut. Did that one as well. I can't get that piece, so it looks a bit ugly, but it is what it is. It'll be right for a dash, just to sit in there. I'll put some black paint over it or something. Just before we crack on to the rear firewall though, what I did was I mounted the dash real quick. Just welded some tabs off these little pieces that the old dash would clip into. Just welded some extensions on to bring it out, and just welded another, oh, you can't see that, can you? And just welded another tab there for it to bolt to, same with the other side. So moving on to the rear firewall, I've roughly cut out a piece of panel steel that it was just a little bit bigger obviously, so you can trim it up. So what I've done is I've marked out like a lip here, so I want this to be bent, and that will push up against the edge here, and then just what I was going to do is just going to take out all these riv nuts so the holes are there, and then just spot weld it to that bottom panel, and then I'll just use sealant, like I run a seam sealer along the seam just to seal the rest of it, so it's not fully welded. Saves running so much of a weld, and all the heat into it also like warps it as well. Alright, so I was too lazy to go sort out bloody trying to get 2 beams put in this sheet metal, so I just rigged up something here at home. What I've done is I've basically just clamped a bit of I clamped the sheet just under a bit of RHS here, and I've just bent it by hand. Put your hands under here and just bend it up. It's only thin sheet metal, so it bends alright. If you were to try to do something thicker, you definitely need a proper bender to get the nice crease, but I mean, for what it is, it's going to do the job. So, and it doesn't look like it is going to be too bad, so yeah. Alright, so this is it semi in place. The bend's a little bit too aggressive, it probably needs to flatten out a little bit, but I can just push on a little bit to fold it in. It's not too far away. It's just gonna go to meet up with that piece there, but not too bad. So what I'll do now is that's about where it's gonna sit, so I'll trace a line from the edge of the window there across to the other side, and then I'll try to make it angled. I might put the old bit of perspex in the window so I can get sort of an angle, trace a line, and then go like whatever this gap is here, 25mm extra, and then cut that, and then try fold that 25mm extra over so it makes a lip for the window to grab onto. So I'll get a pen and roughly trace that out and see how we go. Alright, so my bit of perspex that I got, it doesn't go down that far, so to get that angle, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put a straight edge across here like so, and then measure like from corner to corner like that. I'll measure the height in the middle there, so that's the height of the top of the curve. I'll do the same for the bottom and just get a rough idea on what the curve should be through there to kind of match those two. It's about the only way I can think about doing it. It's not glass that goes in the back anyway, so if it's slightly off, the perspex will bend into like a slab. I'll get it as good as we can anyway. So the top of the arc on both ends is roughly like 35mm. So I'll straight edge across from this corner here to that edge there. Then I'll go in the middle, I'll go up 35mm, and then I'll sort of just trace an arc, and then I'll go up another 25, and that's where I'll make the cut. So then I can fold over that 25mm lip, and hopefully it all works out. And then I'll bead roll just a bead right around the outside of it, just to give it a bit extra strength. But I'll probably do that first and then do the bead, just so, because from last time, remember the angle from the other piece got in the way of the bead roller from being able to like push it right through. So I'll do the bead first and then we'll fold the lip over, hopefully. Alright, so again, the angle there by hand is probably going to be a bit iffy. So what I've done, I've got a bit of flat bar and I've sort of bent it to the shape of the top of the window arch here, so it's got a slight bend in it, and I've got the center mark there, so outside to center mark. And what I'm going to do for that here is I'll just sit it on here like this, put my center mark center here, sort of just trace that angle there, and then flip it around, trace that one. So hopefully that works out. Right, so there's my curve. I'll just go another 25 and draw the next curve up, and then trim it all up to fit. I'll probably trim these angles out here too, because they're asked to sort of slot in the back there, just with the shape of everything. So I'll cut these straight so it can just fall straight down, and then once the other bits are welded in the side, I can just attach to those. So alright, so here it is trimmed up and test fitting. It's got my little angle there. It's much better like this. So I'll put my bead in it just around the top section or something like that. Give it some strength so it's not so flimsy. It won't be flimsy with the top lip anyway, but help it rattle less anyway. And then once I do that, I'll put it back in and I'll bloody just sort of bend this into place where it needs to go, and probably trim like what needs to be trimmed. Like this corner here is going to need to trim to fold right into that little arch there. I don't know how I'm going to go with putting a riv nut there. I might actually have to weld it in after all, so I was going to change my mind 10 bloody times before I come up with what I'm going to do, depending how it fits. But yeah, put the bead in here for now anyway. So I done a test run on this little bit of panel steel here to get the angled lip. So you sort of got a half, like a rounded top, and we've got a lip on it. So I think it should work how I'm doing it. So I will run it through there just a couple times lightly, just to see if it's going to be alright on a bigger piece, because it does start to bow a little bit if you look down it that way. It does sort of angle, but hopefully, because it's quite an aggressive angle, the one on the big piece isn't as aggressive, so hopefully it doesn't bend too much. But try it and see how it goes. It might be right with the little bend, it might make it look a bit cool. Who knows, we'll find out. So it's going quite good. I've got it most of the way there. What I've been doing is just putting it through the two dies like this. So I've got one flat one there and then one like sharp-ish one. I've just been running it through it, like I've done it multiple times, and each time I'll just fold the steel up just a little bit more, like put some pressure on it. I don't know if I can, probably can't film it, can I? No, probably not. But yeah, basically I just, so it started off like flat, and I put a little bit of tension on it, ran it through along the angled line, or the curved line, and then ran it through again, put a bit more pressure on it, keep putting pressure on it, it slowly folds it up, so it's almost there, which is cool. So it's turning out not bad for my first time doing it. Alright, so this is it sitting in there. I think I might weld it. It didn't really come up as high as I hoped it would. Like, I want it to be a little bit higher, but I think we'll just put a bit of polycarbonate there and see how it looks. Alright, so I've gone and just stitched in the rear firewall here. I've also added in these side panels, stitched those in as well. So this is how it looks. So next step is I'm going to get some body filler, well not some body filler, sorry, some seam sealer, and just run. So I've just stitched it in small places, save welding the whole thing, because it's, I don't know, just to save on welding, because it's a pain in the ass, and because of like the heat. Like if I turn it down, the welds look shit because they like sit on top, and if I turn up the heat a little bit, they like melt too much, so you sit there for ages just going dip, 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 trying to get a nice weld. So to make it easy, I'm just going to seam seal it. So I'll just run some sealer down through there, on the back side through there, right across, just seal it like that. It's the same as how factory cars are made anyway, you know, they're all spot welded together and seam sealed, so it'll do the job for the back. I think that'll be it for now though. I need a mod, make a bracket on the back of this tank so I can bolt that tank there for the overflow, for the swirl pot for the coolant, and I might make another one on the side for an overflow. I want to get some paint. I've got some primer here from when I did the kit, but I want to prime all around the windscreen and the back here, and probably the back panel as well. I might prime the whole thing, maybe the cage as well. See how I feel. But I don't have any red paint left, so I'm gonna have to get some more red paint if I can find some. So I want to paint in there all red instead of bone black, so it's all matching, and do some touch-ups on the kit and stuff. So I'll see if I can sort some paint and whatnot, but for now I'll probably upload this video just showing the completed, or mostly completed firewall. Turned out pretty good. Like I said before, that would be nice if that went up a little bit higher, but yeah, it's the first time doing it, and I know for if I ever do another one what to do now, and probably make a better one, but it'll do the job for now. It looks pretty spiffy. I think with some paint and stuff on there you probably won't notice too much of the imperfections. So yeah, I don't know when the next video is going to be, because I don't know what I'm going to do for paint and sealer and when that would show up, but see if I can get it done quickly for you. But anyway, stay tuned for that. Cheers for watching. Appreciate all the views. Cheers.